1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
And we're back. Today's the day on Ash Wednesday. We start getting ready for the Lenten season, and I had mentioned if you were going to go out yesterday and just meats, Robert's Specialty Meats, that's the way to go. Down there on Sunset Drive in Waukesha, and it doesn't matter if you're going to do it today or tomorrow, or if you're going to, kind of wait for the weekend and the family dinner on Sunday, whatever it is. If you're going to grill, if you're going to just sit at home and throw some steaks on the skillet, Al Capone roast, or maybe you just want some fresh deli items that are made right here in the state of Wisconsin from things in the state of Wisconsin. That is Robert's Specialty Meats. And I mentioned this the other day. If you are thinking about the fish fries in the Lenten season, I cannot enough recommend the crab legs. I know they're expensive, but if you can do it, the Alaskan King crab legs, oh my God, were they so good. So good at Christmas time. I'd never had them from Robert's. They have scallops and everything. But oh my God, so good. I highly recommend it. Go to robertspecialtymeatswaukesha.com. That is robertspecialtymeatswaukesha.com. There you go. Cannot go wrong. Can't go wrong. Mary, happy birthday. Mary, we're back on the live stream, by the way. So, Mary, happy birthday. Good stuff. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Everything's been reset during the commercial break, so good stuff. And there's Grant Bills. Computers have been restarted.
Nice to see you again. Don't worry, the hockey coverage is wrapped up. I was watching Canada and Czechia, but we're back to curling. So I know people were freaking out there for a couple hours that there was no curling on, that we were watching an international hockey matchup. Don't worry, the United States and Great Britain are curling against each other.
Okay.
So I don't know if I've complained about on sleep.
There's curling, individual curling, mixed team curling. So but have you noticed the uptick this time, all the time when the Olympics are on, the uptick in curling, things that are people curling on TikTok and Instagram?
I would imagine. Yeah.
I saw
on TikTok, but yeah.
Groceries and people sweeping into their garage. I saw people throwing turkeys. I saw a guy, and I kid you not, he's got his baby in a one of those, like you strap it into your car in a car carrier, and then you flip the handle up on it, and then you carry your kid around in it. I saw him slide his baby across his garage floor or driveway floor with his buddy sweeping in front of it, with the wife at the other end catching a kid. I saw that. People are curling everything. Curling, there's an obsession with curling. I don't know what it is, but it's there.
I think curling is one of those. I bet curling would be a blast to go do. Like Wednesday night after work, a couple weeks in the winter. Like, I bet it'd be fun. Slam some beers and curl with your friends. It looks fun.
Have you ever done it?
I've never done it.
I did it when I first, probably in 2021, something like that, a couple of years in. And I did it at the Milwaukee Curling Club. And I was a mastodon of a human being back then. I was about 400 pounds. And I did it. And I thought I almost tore my groin muscle to the point that my testicles ended up in my knees and in the skin of my knees. You got to be flexible to do it. If you're going to be now, if you're the sweeper, drink up, take the broom, you're good to go. No problem. Just don't fall on your ass. But man, as the person that has to stretch out, yeah, they say, okay, you keep your back leg, you drag that toe, and the toe when you kind of have your foot side, it guides you. It can guide you straight and this and that. I'm getting all these tips, and I started to do it. And I'm like, I think I tore my groin, and both balls are on the ice. I was like, just, oh my God.
Yep.
I have so much respect for people that curl. It's just crazy. It's crazy, but it does require an athleticism of flexibility and hand-eye coordination to be able to do that. But yeah. And then the stones, they teach you where the stones come from and how they're made and all that kind of stuff. And I find it fascinating. Have you ever seen the show How It's Made? I think we all have at one point or another, where the guy talks it through. They did curling stones one time, which was really kind of cool. I thought that was neat to show how a curling stone is made. So anyway, and the different colors they put on them and the weights and such for certain things and how they measure them out and all that kind of stuff. So pretty neat, curling. But curling is overtaking the world.
It's the only thing on my television. It's like the World Poker Tour. When I go to sleep in the 8th inning of a Brewer game and I wake up at 1 a.m. and it's World Poker Tours. I turn on my TV when I get home. It's like, well, do you want doubles curling?
Right.
Do you want triples curling? Well, it's solo curling. Right. Now we're in the group state. Are they ever going to win medals? Are any of these curlers ever going to compete for medals? I don't understand.
I think the Americans have actually won some medals in curling, if I'm not mistaken.
God, I hope. Otherwise, what's going on over there? I don't want to be anti-curling, but if I turn on my screen one more time and it's curling, I might have to go on a crusade against this.
Who was the guy that got busted for using the finger to? Was that Canada?
Yeah, it was the cheating Canucks.
Yeah.
He was just double tapping with his finger.
Yeah, and he was F-bombing everybody on the ice, and it turned out, no, that's exactly what he was doing, and they got a close-up of it, and it's like, dude, you're busted. So, I didn't know that curling could result in F-bombs. That, if something happens, most people are like, hey, okay. All right. It's like bowling. You don't see people dropping F-bombs in bowling, it's, come on.
You've never bowled with me. And it's not because I suck. Well, I do suck at bowling, but it's always my elbow starts to hurt around the fourth or fifth frame.
Well, if it's yourself, that's one thing, but if you normally you don't get rules violations, where you're F-bombing the other team, unless of course, you're walking to the line. Now I did. Have you ever been in a bowling league? I was in a bowling league when I was a kid. I shouldn't say when I was a kid. I was like late. Well, yeah, I was a kid. And late grade school, early high school, that type of thing. And it was always, we bowled on a Friday. And I did it to get out of class. That was it. But we had fun doing it. But the etiquette thing became a real issue when you're going up against other schools because, you'd have guys that would be up and you'd be holding the ball and just as you start to get going and in your backswing, next thing you know, somebody just blow one off the bench, something would happen. And, I'm sorry, I couldn't hold it or whatever. And they're yelling stuff. And, then there was bowling etiquette. And that's the only time that I ever found any animosity on a bowling league. And that was at high school, a bunch of high school kids sitting around doing nothing, just trying to get out of class. But I want to see, what I'd love to see is like a curl. Yeah, right. Mike says, what about a curling brawl? That would be epic. Like, they start beating the hell out of each other with the brooms and, somebody's trying to pick up and swing around on the ice with a curling stone, Oh my God. You don't see that. What happened to you? I got hit in the face with a curling stone. Okay. That explains why you look like a pizza on one side. Okay. Gotcha. Good stuff. A few beers and you're all back together again. So, and you got to wear special shoes for that too.
Slidey shoes,
special curling shoes. They got some kind of a bottom on them. The sweepers, it's almost like, how do I put this? And maybe I'm wrong. So if you're a curler, let me know. But it's almost like that, like a scrubber. When when you got the sponges, but they're scrubby type of. There's that, so you don't go down. And then the other pair of shoes are slicker for the slide, for you to control the slide. So different shoes for different aspects of curling. That's our curling segment of the day.
It's already more than we needed.
Right?
I'm going to go home and
way beyond what we wanted.
I'm going to see it in my sleep. Oh, bad shot from this American lady. I mean, they can't hit the broadside of a barn
in a curling
that I'm watching. Oh no, not even close.
You're watching curling?
Oh, I don't have a choice, Bill. It's the only thing it's on.
Okay.
I'd watch any other sport if I could. I enjoyed the hockey for a while.
Speaking of things going out, I think the TV went out in the studio. I can't get anything to turn on. It's just a black screen. It's on, but it's just a black screen. I hope I didn't lose a TV too, because I'm going to be really pissed if I did. 877-867-1670. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends in Marinette, Wisconsin. Marinette was a beautiful place, Marinette. Love Marinette. So if you are thinking about a place to visit, whether it's now or later on down the road, coming up this summer, the other side of Door County, shall we say, coming up on March 14th, put it on your calendar. Jason Sheff is coming to town. He's the lead vocalist for Chicago. So if you want to get a little flavor of Chicago, and Chicago the band, not Chicago the city, it's not like he's bringing free hot dogs or anything. But nevertheless, Jason Sheff is going to be there. They have VIP tickets. Tickets are on sale. And don't forget, you get free tickets if you're coming to town. You want to see the show, and you book a room at the Independence Day or the Holiday Inn Express, free tickets. Free tickets. There you go. So our friends Jason Sheff and the gang, all you got to do is go up and check them out. March 14th, they're going to be in town. Tickets, giveaways, all that kind of stuff. They've got free tickets if you go to the Independence Day or the Holiday Inn Express. Jason Sheff coming to Marinette, Wisconsin. Don't forget, it is Fish City, Fish Capital, all that kind of good stuff. Go up and see a ship being launched. Go up and check out some of the daily events that they have. The summer they've been renovating downtown for the shop owners down there, which is fantastic. Great bars and restaurants as they continue to expand and get better and renovate. Good stuff. Rediscover Marinette, Wisconsin. Go to marinette.wi.us. Marinette, marinette.wi.us.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
With Pella, you get so much more than stunning windows and doors. You get the Pella experience. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. And with a 10-year labor warranty, your windows and doors are worry-free for years to come. If something goes wrong, we're here to handle it because you work with the same team from start to finish.
Right now, get 0% interest for up to 48 months.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back in. Bill Michaels Show. Continuing on. Gotta say thanks to our friends at Smoke on the Water. Smoke on the Water. Out there on Okachi Lake. Sloppy Joe Saloon and Spoon in Hubertus, Wisconsin, which is just east of Holy Hill as well. Both places fantastic. Smoke on the Water, they've got a lot of stuff going on all the time, whether it's music coming up from Nashville. You just pay attention to them on all the social media platforms. They always run some special dinners. They do the bourbon and the wine tastings out there. They're going to do a cigar and bourbon event, come back during the summertime at the bourbon bar that they built outside on the deck that overlooks the lake. So many things happening at Smoke on the Water, BBQ Okachi. Smoke on the Water, BBQ Okachi. And I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And Joe and Ellen, they're great people. They run a terrific business. They really, really care about all the people that walk through the door. Check it out. Again, Smoke on the Water, Okachi, Sloppy Joe's Saloon and Spoon in Hubertus, Wisconsin. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Robert says, it's a slider and a cover that goes over it when you're not throwing the stone. Same shoes, much like tennis shoes. Okay, there you go. Okay.
I see the stuff on the inside of my eyelids. I don't thank you for your curling contributions, commenter and caller. Let me get out in front of this and say, anyone who wants to know this stuff, we're free to research this on our own time.
There you
or
go.
Just turn on our TV. It's on every channel.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. It's everywhere. And I am now unplugging the in-studio TV here because I think it crapped out today too. There's no picture coming up. I unplugged it and plugged it back in, and it turns on, but there is no picture. It's just completely black.
The black light or the backlight blew out. Sometimes that happens.
Something. I don't know what it is, but it's just dark. It
happened to my buddy a couple weeks ago. That's because we played Call of Duty for like 7 straight hours on a Saturday night. So I don't. Maybe that happened to you. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I bought this TV maybe 5 years ago, and I made the mistake. I bought an LG, and I made it because I always buy Samsung. And I made the mistake. I bought an LG. It's been a good TV. And you've seen it. I mean, you've done shows in here. And it's a big 55-inch, and it's just perfect for right in here, right in front of me. And it just never came on this morning. And I looked, and I'm like, oh, it's an LG. That's why. Samsung's last longer. So might have to go find one of those today, too. Sucks.
Go use Kristen's basement. Do the show down there.
I know, right?
Just mounted a new TV.
Put a new one over there. Yeah, I should just bring it back. So.
I'm going to borrow this.
I know, right? 877-867-1670. Find us. Who's this from? Let's do this. Let's go to Dean, listening to us in Janesville. Dean, how you doing today? What's going on, man?
Good. How are you?
I am doing well. What's up?
I was wondering how, in your opinion, they could improve the overtime, because they cut down the overtime to 10 minutes, which I don't think is right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the coin flip should be not allowed in football. I think the home team should have their choice of whether they want the football, because in baseball they don't have the coin flip to see who bats last.
Well, no, I understand that, and the coin flip is not a huge issue to me. I mean, obviously, teams have a philosophy now as to whether or not they want the ball or don't want the ball, why they don't want that, and because of the odds are in their favor. If you don't take the ball and you defer, that means you get the back-to-back. When it comes to the possibility of scoring a touchdown before half and then scoring another one coming out of half when you get the ball back, I get all that. There's philosophy to it and strategy to it, but the overtime rules, I'm not a huge fan of. Never have been. But I will say this, with kickers kicking 50, 60-yard field goals like it's nothing, I do appreciate it, because I don't want to see a team that, gets the ball, they get a little bit of a run back, or they get it kicked out of the landing zone and they get the ball at the 30 or the 35 or whatever, and then they only got to go 20 yards to kick a field goal and have the game end. So I do appreciate that. But I agree with you. I think maybe instead of 10 minutes, go 12 minutes. 2 more minutes wouldn't hurt. I'd rather go. But they do it for the guise of player safety. It's like all the crap that they've done with the kickoff. I hate the new kickoff. I hate it. I hate having to declare an onside kick. I hate the lack of surprise capability for an onside kick, such as we've seen with Sean Payton in the Super Bowl. I hate all that crap. I hate it. They've legislated some things out of football under the guise of players' health and safety, but yet they want to add games and they want to take you overseas and they want to do all these things for the lack of recovery, but they want to screw with the kickoff. I think it's so hypocritical, in my own opinion.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bud. Talk to you soon. That's Dean. Dean and James.
I think they go to an untimed overtime. You know what I mean? Because it becomes sudden death anyways. After the first two teams have a chance to possess the ball, it becomes sudden death.
Right.
So what's the need for time? Unless I guess going untimed would completely take away ties. Maybe the NFL wants to hold on to that. But once those first two possessions are done, it becomes sudden death. I don't know why there's a need for a clock at all.
Yeah. Don't know. I'm not a fan of some of the changes they've made. I don't think it's bettered the game. The
current format is interesting, because now I think it's actually better. You might want the ball first instead of second, because then you get it third. That's really the most important possession, because on the third possession of overtime, if it's still tied, then it becomes sudden death.
Right.
So teams always used to want to defer. We'll take it second in overtime so we know what we're up against. Whereas now, and the rule changes, if a touchdown wins or doesn't win on the first possession is kind of changed. But it's interesting to see how these new rules have changed team strategies. And I think some teams are smarter and better at it than others, clearly.
Yeah. Yep, no doubt. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Give us a shout. Also, you can track us down via text message 608-321-1670. Back to the text line. Jared in DeForest says Olympic curling is just 3 medal events. Men's team, women's team, and mixed doubles team. The U.S. mixed doubles team won silver. I knew one of them won, because I saw the shot that won it, where she needed to take 2 of whoever they were playing, 2 of the opponents out of the circle and left theirs in the middle of the circle, and they ended up winning on that particular shot. John in Eau Claire says curling is real big in Eau Claire. So I'm surprised growing up in Eau Claire you weren't a curler, Grant.
I don't play cube. I don't curl. I got this email too from a listener about look up, such and such. He's a crazy. I've had enough. I don't need more curling stuff.
You know what? The next time we're out, say Sunday or next Monday night or Tuesday night, we're going to go to a bar, and I'm going to slide the beer can down the bar to you, or the bottle, and then I'm going to have Clemens shuffle everything away so it slides a little bit farther.
He can scrub in front of the bottle as it slides down.
Just to have you run out into the street screaming. That'll be.
I would like it. Look, there's these certain activities that are fun to do.
Yes,
I like playing pickleball. I like curling. I would enjoy. That would be fun. I don't need to watch other people do it. And I certainly don't need it to be the Olympic version of Due North Outdoors, where it's just always on. It never stops. It just, I don't, whatever. I've said my piece on this.
There you go. Out of the 715, the Packers never have enough money to spend on the best defensive player. The Packers never have enough money to spend on the best defensive player or offensive players in free agency, which I'm fine with. The development of your own and grab a few others, but maybe we have enough money to get the best returner and gunner. Let's spend some of that money there. If you're going to spend money, if you have 3 or 4 choices, I talked about 2 earlier. A nose tackle for the new style of defense, a center, a true center that can anchor your offense, or a returner or a gunner. What are you going to spend money on? If, say, $10 million is what you've got for one guy, what are you going to spend money on? I don't think a whole lot of people are going to say, I got to go spend $10 million on a gunner. I get what you're saying. And there is certain times. I mean, if you're trying to find just a special teams player, but usually you're bringing a guy in to be a backup to whatever, and then they are a special teams player. But I don't think I'm going to spend a lot more money on a return. If you can find a bona fide returner, okay. A field flipper, okay, I'll do that. I don't think Savion Williams really got off to a great start. I think the injuries kind of bugged him a little bit, and he's just a rookie, just never got on track. Maybe this year will be better. And I'm going to wait and see what they do in the draft. I mean, maybe there's a guy there that he says, okay, this is the guy. This is a really good returner, and maybe they go in that direction. We'll wait and see. From Kelly in the Truck, they may have the talent to win a Super Bowl. They do not have the head coach or the quarterback to win a Super Bowl. LaFleur, as he says, shrinks like a wiener in cold water. It's just a visual. In the biggest moments, and Love cannot process through his progressions quick enough to make the correct throw. That's why he stinks against the blitz, whereas A-Rod torched the blitz. Actually, the blitz Love was good against. It was just general pressure that, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't Jordan Love, I got to go back during the break and look, wasn't Jordan Love good against the blitz this past year?
This is what's tricky is blitz versus pressure. Just because the team blitzes doesn't mean they get pressure. And just because the team pressures doesn't mean they necessarily blitzed. So I don't know about his numbers against the blitz. I know his numbers on a pressure.
Jordan Love was number 2. He was the second best against the blitz this year. Matthew Stafford was the best with a quarterback rating of 121.8. Let me take that back. Here you go. The top 5. Best passer rating against the blitz. This is according to NFL stats. Drake May, 132.6, which is amazing considering what a craptastic Super Bowl he had against the blitz. Jared Goff, 121.9. Jalen Hurts, 121.8. Matthew Stafford, 119.9. And Jordan Love, 118.1. Top 5 against the blitz. Worst passer rating against the blitz. Joe Flacco, Cam Ward, Sam Darnold, Trevor Lawrence, and Bryce Young. So there you go. But Jordan Love was one of the best against the blitz. It was just, quote, pressure that got to him. The metrics of Pro Football Focus, and I'm trying to see if there's something here with, I'm trying to see where their passer ratings were. From Pro Football Focus. I shouldn't be doing this on the air. I should be doing this during the commercial break, but I want to see. Oh God, no, that's too far back. I just looked. Anyway, let's do this. We'll get into this because I want to look top 5 quarterback pressures against pressure. Let's see here. Yeah, if you go to StatMuse, he's not even in the top 25. I mean, the top 5, believe it or not, well, Kirk Cousins only played 10 games. But Joe Flacco was good against pressure, not the blitz. Aaron Rodgers, Geno Smith against pressure, not the blitz. Matthew Stafford was number 4. Jared Goff was number 5. Jacoby Brissett was number 6. Dak Prescott was number 7. Patrick Mahomes was number 8. And it goes on from there. He wasn't even in the top 10. So there you go. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Sorry about the long delay, but I wanted to find that out before we went to break. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
With Pella, you get so much more than stunning windows and doors. You get the Pella experience. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. And with a 10-year labor warranty, your windows and doors are worry-free for years to come. If something goes wrong, we're here to handle it because you work with the same team from start to finish.
Right now, get 0% interest for up to 48 months.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Well, I saw a little bit earlier that Doug Gottlieb had put out a post that said, I'd like to apologize to the Horizon League and the officials for my disparaging comments following Sunday's game. I understand and appreciate how difficult their job is and respect what they do for the sport of basketball. I'm going to be better moving forward. And word is now that he has been suspended for 1 game. For 1 game. for the outburst, if you will. Huh. Interesting stuff. Let's do this. We'll step out. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We got a lot more to get to. Don't go anywhere. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, Wisconsin is regrouping after getting blown out at Ohio State last night. The 24th-ranked Badgers fell behind early and never got within single digits in the second half as they had to settle for a split of their season series with the Buckeyes. Loss dropped Wisconsin to 10-5 in Big Ten play with 5 games to go. They're sitting in 6th place in the conference, 1 game back of 3 teams. They're sitting in 3rd. Next up, visit from Iowa, who just beat Nebraska last night. Hawkeyes a game back of the Badgers in the standings. That game coming up on Sunday at the Kohl Center. Turning to the Bucs, they'll be getting back together soon as they get ready to open the second half of the season on Friday night in New Orleans. Milwaukee is in a virtual tie with Chicago for 11th in the Eastern Conference, leaving them a game and a half out of the play-in games. Meanwhile, the Brewers in full swing out in Arizona for spring training, held their first full team workout yesterday and will have their first game coming up on Saturday when they take on the Guardians in Cactus League action.
With Pella, you get so much more than stunning windows and doors. You get the Pella experience. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. And with a 10-year labor warranty, your windows and doors are worry-free for years to come. If something goes wrong, we're here to handle it because you work with the same team from start to finish.
Right now, get 0% interest for up to 48 months.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Well, the Packers are in need of a new special teams coordinator. That's after Rich Bisaccia stepped down as the team's associate head coach and head of their special teams yesterday. Bisaccia had overseen the team's special teams for the last 4 years. It means Matt LaFleur will be on his 4th special teams coach since taking over in 2019. Packers and their scouting staff going to be in Indianapolis next week for the NFL Combine, the NFL Draft coming up in April. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Welcome in to the Bill Michaels Show. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate you. Just before we went to break, Doug Gottlieb, for the outburst over this past Sunday, has been suspended 1 game. 1 game. So there you go. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Give us a shout. Again, 877-867-1670. Hit us up there. You can also text us, 608-321-1670, which out of the 920 said, I'm streaming. I don't know, through another entity and said that there's some dead air. Yeah, Wisco Sports Zone is probably pretty much the best way to go. Wisco Sports Zone app, or, our second best way to go is either through the website or through YouTube, even though things did go down for a brief period of time today, but all good. Aaron says, I had 3 Samsung TVs. They all burn out the processors. I have not had one Samsung burn out on me yet. Toshiba's, they last forever. But the LG, I don't know what it is about the LG TVs, man. They're great, and then all of a sudden, they're gone. I have an 85-inch Samsung downstairs that is just stunning picture. It's one of the best TVs I've ever bought. I always knock on wood, pray to God that thing never goes down. Because I would take they're even though they're flat screens and all that kind of stuff, they're still heavy as hell. It takes 2 people to put those things together to get them up on the wall. But yeah, I'll keep it in mind. Thank you very much. I just ordered one. I'm going to have it delivered later today, as a matter of fact, a new TV for the studio. It looks like the LG has burnt out and our studio television monitors have gone dead. So a lot of weird stuff happening today. I got poltergeists or something. I don't know. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. That's a great way to get a hold of us. You can text us 608-321-1670. You can find us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. You can also find us on Twitter, on X, at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. Find Grant over there at Wisco Grant. Track us down there. And then Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, The Bill Michaels Show. Always appreciate you over there. We're on the Twitch app, the Kick app, the LinkedIn app, our app, which is Wisco Sports Zone, Wisco Sports Zone. You can find us there. And then also the email, the program, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. There's thebillmichaels.com, which is the website. And don't forget our television show in Milwaukee, My24 TV. Find us there as well. So plenty of ways to track us down. Good stuff. Hoping at the bottom of the hour, we talk with Dario Melendez. And we'll talk with him. Hopefully, he's coming off the golf course. If not, we'll hear some other stuff. But to talk a little bit about yesterday and the Milwaukee Brewers owner, Mark Antanasio. And he spoke. Nothing controversial came out of yesterday. Nothing. Because there was no, hey, I'm just here for the summer of entertainment comments. Not responsible to win championships comments, none of that kind of stuff. It was just simply, hey, this is the season. Not a ton to it. There was some stuff, but not a ton to it overall, which I'm okay with. Your owner, other than saying, I would have loved for him to come out and say, oh, by the way, we're just going to spend a boatload more money. Other than that, nah. All good. All good. I would love for him to come out and say, yeah, we're going to put a lot more into this. We're going to spend a ton. No. But Mark Antanasio, as Todd Rosiak wrote, just said that they're very enthusiastic and ready for, 2026. But nothing huge came out of yesterday's presser, to be perfectly honest with you. He said, so look, we're really engaged for so many reasons. The energy in the clubhouse is palpable. This will be season 22 for me, so I can tell it's going to be good, bad, or indifferent. We're very good. It's a youthful energy. There's young players who have had a lot of success together at whichever level. It all starts here, and I know every team is hopeful now, and we're hopeful this year. But look, we know how hard it is because we've been there and done that. We've won 3 divisions in a row. With the national media focused on so much of the costs of this, our focus on the coasts, I should say, of this. It's a lot of competition in our division, and anybody who thinks seriously they can go take a bat and hit against Paul Skeens, we take nothing for granted, but we feel good this year coming into it. The division is competitive and getting more and more competitive, and I think the Reds showed everybody last year that you can, with a new playoff system, get into the playoffs with 83 wins. Now, it's not always going to be that. We did the math on it. When we put the change in, we thought you'd need at least 85, but it happens. And so that encourages other teams to get better. I think the Pirates are seeing a bunch of their young guys starting to win, and it's really nice to have an opposing manager. I want to play like those guys. And so they're starting to pick players like our guys. They've got some good pitchers. Joe Torre once told me, I've been quoted too many times, it's very hard to win the Major League Baseball game. Very hard. I think all about the things that have to go right for us to win. So, and it goes on from there. There was a lot that Mark had to say yesterday. And then he was asked, though, I will say this, is there any reason for the optimism regarding 2027 not starting in a lockout for the reason of pessimism, or is it still too early to say? He said, it's way too early to say from my perspective. It's not even pregame right now. We understand the interest and everybody has to come up with content, but it's way too early to say. We saw what was happening this morning with the rumors of the head of the MLBPA, Tony Clark, reportedly resigning, and I certainly was surprised to see that. So you have to let things play out. You can't go to the end of the movie. You have to watch the entire movie. So there you go. Mark Antanasio dealing with it yesterday.
I thought Mark's comments were good. I would have liked to hear him say our goal is to win a World Series. I was like when an owner says that. I know it's such a small, stupid little thing.
Right.
I would have preferred to hear him say that.
Sure.
And he didn't, at least in the clips that I didn't, or the clips that I saw.
Yep. Yeah. Well, you always want to see him talk about, you would love to see him talk about that and say, that's my priority. Because then it says everything else that falls behind that, well, I thought that was your priority. And he doesn't want to pin himself into that. But as a Brewers fan, I want to see you get to a World Series before I'm dead. I seriously, is that where anybody that's age 40 or older, I think at one point or another, that phrase, I want to see the Brewers get to a World Series before I'm dead, probably has come out of their mouths. There's been a lot of close but no cigars. I shouldn't even say a lot. There's been probably 3 or 4 since I've come here in 99. In 26 years of Brewers baseball, they've been to what, 3 ALCSs or NLCSs? 2 or 3.
2011, 2018, and this year.
Yeah, so 3. So they've kind of come close, but they really haven't. So I just want to see them get to a World Series and play in that game and play in that series and bring that to Milwaukee and bring that into the state. And I just want to, I mean, if they don't win it, okay, I want to see them win it in my lifetime, but I just want to see them get back and say that they can. That's just what I want to see. And I think there's a lot of people, and like last year, it was the whole, win it for Uke thing and all that kind of stuff. And I get it, but I said, look, it's not just for you. It's for everybody who's been a Brewers fan through the thick and through the thin and through the good and the bad and the end of County Stadium and 10,000 people showing up on cold, rainy nights and getting upset at taxes and everything else that goes along with it and stadium renovations and all the things that people said, I don't want to do it, but I'll do it. I love my team. I want to keep them here. I want to keep the revenue. I want to keep everything going. I want to see them win a World Series. For all those people that have done that, I just want to see them win. Just get there. It's for everybody. It's for every damn Brewers fan. It's not just for the guys inside the locker room. It's not because Mark Attanasio, he hasn't been here. I mean, I go far longer than me. Since 82, people have been pining for this. There's been a lot of Brewers fans that have come and gone. I want to see them get to that point. So not just for myself, but anyway, you get the point. 877-867-1670. Hit us up. Again, 877-867-1670. Who's this from? This is from Kevin. Kevin says, hey, Bill, I think Mark Attanasio owes it to us to spend a little bit extra. We've been spending our money and our hard-earned money for all the different things that they have going on down at the ballpark, whether it's a $25 mixed drink or a $6 hot dog or brat, or paying the extended parking, getting parking fines because their app didn't work. All those things need to be taken care of because Mark Attanasio has to think of us, the fans. We've been coming through the gates, putting more than 2 million and 3 million people through the gates at American Family Field for a long time now. All we ask is that you spend the extra, go the extra mile, and put some extra money into this ball club to make them legitimately a contender for a World Series. Now, that's from Kevin. Kevin, appreciate the email. Thank you very much. Got to get that. Got to get there. I hope they get there. I really do. All right, let's do this. When we come back, if you missed it earlier, we had a chance to sit down and chat with Bill Huber from Sports Illustrated. And Bill was great. Bill's writing a column now about who is left out there that may be on the short list for the Green Bay Packers to reach out to when it comes to their special teams play and their special teams coordinator. So we'll step out. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We got a lot more. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Bill Huber up next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Bill Michaels Show, rolling on. Welcome back to the program. If you're just waking up, Rich Bisaccia stepped down yesterday. The announcement made by Matt LaFleur yesterday afternoon, and joining us now on the hotline, Bill Huber from Sports Illustrated, covers the Green Bay Packers. So, Bill, your reaction? I mean, because this was a long time to wait in between the end of the season and yesterday to find out that your special teams coordinator and assistant head coach is no more.
Yeah, that's something, isn't it? I certainly get the fan reaction. I mean, he was touted as the guy who was going to be the savior for the special teams. It's never worked out. The Ted Thompson years they didn't pay anybody on special teams, so they were kind of, logically bad. But Gutekunst has spent money on them, and the results still weren't there. So it is rough. I mean, I'm looking right now. I'm doing a story about the veteran guys who are out there. There are 11 coordinator changes this offseason.
Yes,
some of those coordinators who lost their job have landed on their feet already. So just leaves four veteran guys from last year. So it is really late in the game to be getting in here. I would assume LaFleur's got some sort of ready list just because this was a possibility last year too. So I would assume he's at least semi-prepared for it, but it is slim pickings right now.
Right. I had said to Mike Clemens a little earlier, and I made this clear on the show because people seem to think that Rich was fired. I thought if you're going to fire a guy, you fire him the week or two after the season, before everybody else has their pickings, when all these teams are looking for head coaches and their staff. So you would have done this a while ago. This was, in my opinion, this was Rich's decision to say, okay, I'm going to step aside. It's time for me. Maybe he went away. Maybe he thought about quitting, and they said, no, we want to hold up space for you. We want you to come back. And then finally he just said, you know what, guys, I just don't have it in me. I don't want to do this. I want to do something else. But this, to me, smells like it's Rich's decision to say, okay, enough's enough.
Yeah, I agree with that. I found it interesting at first that there was no mention of retirement.
Right.
In that hush release for the Packers. But to your point, if you're going to make a change, and what I was just talking about, you would have wanted to make a change and get out in front of all this. So,
right.
Yeah, I tend to believe it was Rich being 65 years old thinking, you know what, I've done it long enough.
I now, and I was reading your column this morning, when you look at all the different pieces, one that have left the Packers, two that have been shuffled around. Like you said, there's only a few veterans that are left. And then you start looking at other staffs, and you still have the assistant head coaching title. So you can at least, if you wanted to get somebody to make a lateral move that's really good and become assistant head coach, you can offer them a little bit more money to do so. But it's like you said, the pickings are getting kind of slim. I said this earlier. I said it's like going to the grocery store. You already had 10 teams that have gone through before you. And oh, by the way, those 10 teams then took coaches from other teams. So those other teams have gone in through the grocery store, and they've also looked for certain things as well. So you're going in at the very tail end of all of this where everything else has been pretty much picked over. That's the best way I can describe it right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like going to the farmer's market, right?
Yeah.
It's, to the farm stand, but you show up at 5 o'clock and you think, these are the tomatoes that are left over. These all stuck.
Right.
It's a good analogy, Bill.
It's great to know that it's great to know whoever gets hired when you ask them, hey, by the way, do you feel like I sucked on tomato when they do their press conference? I wait for that question for you, from you, Bill.
I shall not phrase it that way.
Okay. Good for you.
That would make me think that, there are some pretty enticing assistants out there. The guy from Seattle,
yes.
Fitzsimmons is, kind of jumps out at me. So again, I would assume that Matt is semi-prepared for this, and he'll act pretty quickly here.
Give me your thoughts on all the coaches. Here's the thing. On one hand, fans will say, well, look, all these coaches are leaving Matt LaFleur. They're abandoning ship. They want out of here. It's terrible. On the other hand, they said if nobody left, then, it's accepting mediocrity. It's just nobody's happy. Everybody's angry the way the season ended. It's still very painful at this point. But I kind of look at it and go, you know what? There's a lot of coaches that were picked over on the Matt LaFleur staff. They have to be doing something right for that many teams to come calling, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Sean Mannion was here for 2 seasons, but really, he was kind of a behind-the-scenes guy that first year. So, in actuality, he was here for 1 season. He gets a coordinator job. Obviously, the guys follow Halfley, which is just kind of how it goes typically. You follow your coordinator, so that's not unusual. So, yeah, I to your point, but I think Matt's done a good job hiring a staff, because if people don't want your guys, that means you're not doing a good job. So, it's been a busy offseason. It would be interesting to see how this shakes out on special teams, and there's probably a move or two to be made on the regular coaching staff that hasn't been announced too. So, but it seems, I think the big thing, and it'll be interesting to see if LaFleur or Gutekunst talks about it at Indy. Well, exactly are they going to run on defense, right? Because Gannon ran a 4-3 with Philly, and he ran a 3-4 with Arizona. So it'll be interesting to see the direction they're going to go, because that obviously plays a role into free agency.
Well, that was going to be my next question. I started going through some of the free agent stuff, and I was looking at guys that were out there. And, Linderbaum is a very enticing guy to me because he's a true center. He's an anchor. He's a guy that's very good in pass rate. And I started thinking about that. I started thinking about defensive nose tackle out of the Broncos organization. And I'm linking, to me, everybody wants to talk about corner and all these different. I'm like, look, if you can bolster the trenches, we've seen this now in back-to-back years. The teams have won in the trenches that have won Super Bowls. You saw them dominate with Vic Fangio's defense in Philadelphia. You saw them dominate defensively in the trenches again with Seattle. They played very technical, good football. They gave Sam Darnold a ton of protection. To me, it starts in the trenches this year. And if you're going to do anything, those will be the 2 areas of concern for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, defensive line was a weakness at this point last year after they lost TJ Slayton. And obviously you compound that with the Kenny Clark trade. And they're just paper thin. And that's just a position where it's really hard to get a young guy who can come in and play right away. It just is, because, you're talking grown man strength.
Yes.
So, I would assume they're going to have to get some sort of better in there. Linderbaum is, I think, like everybody in the world wants him, and he just might be too expensive. I know Green Bay can create some cap space, but that one seems far-fetched. But, he would solve a lot of problems because, who's your center? You don't have a center right now. Mm-hmm. Jacob Monk is your next man up, unless you resign Sean Ryan, which probably makes a lot of sense. But you got to get those things short up for sure. It's hard to play pass defense if your run defense stinks, because it's 3rd and 2. What are you going to do as a coordinator? You can't blitz. Your hands are really tied. So you got to stop the run. It always starts there. And they are, Wooden and Brooks and those guys, they did a fairly decent job last year, but I think by the end they were pretty worn down. And Wyatt's had some injury history. You've got to fortify that group.
John Franklin Myers, the kid out of the guy out of the Denver Broncos organization. If they don't get a center because they feel Sean Ryan's going to be the guy, that's the guy I'd go after. He's a true nose tackle. And I remember, I go back to the year that Dom Capers is an ugly name in Packer lore, but he did win a championship. And he went to Ted Thompson and said, "Give me a nose tackle, give me a linebacker, give me a good safety, give me a good corner, and one guy off the edge, and I'll everything else fill in, and I'll win you a championship." And that's where it started. They had B.J. Raji, they had Ryan Pickett. Those two guys were formidable in the middle, and then everybody else filled in. John Franklin Myers next to Devontae Wyatt would be a formidable task. You throw in when you get Micah Parsons back, whoever's on the other edge, plus it makes your linebackers better and stopping the run. That would be the guy that I would go after if I had to. Yeah,
if memory serves, Franklin Myers is not a great pass rusher, but he's he's a 3-down player for sure. So that makes sense. I know that there's the Bengals have some cap issues, and they've got a pretty good couple D tackles with B.J. Hill, and even Slayton too could come back. But yeah, here I'm looking at it right now. Myers had 14.5 sacks last 2 years for the Broncos. So yeah, to get a 3-down guy that'd be huge. Wooden had 0 sacks, and I think Brooks had a half. I mean, good gracious,
there was nothing there.
Some juice up the middle would help.
The drop off was significant. I agree with you. Are you staying at our house next Monday?
Yeah, I might.
Okay. We got couches, so we actually got 3 bedrooms. I could throw you in with Clemens if you want.
No. Bill can have my room. I'll stay on the couch. Give Bill my room.
Yeah, I appreciated that last year. I'm still waiting. I don't know when these guys are talking, and I don't have a baseball schedule yet. We got on basketball on Sunday. Basketball gets on Saturday.
Okay.
Then go right to baseball. So I got to see my coaching schedule. But yeah, I might go.
Yeah, we're going to go down on Monday, and we're going to do some dinner at Skyline Chili on Monday night. So you're more than welcome to join us, man.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, and then Tuesday it all gets going for real. Yeah, we'll take you there. It lets you experience it. Yes. Well, you can get conies too. You can get to the cheese conies and dogs and all that. I'll teach you. I'll school you up, baby. We'll do that face first, like we're going to the electric chair later that night. Hey, let me ask you. Let me ask you this. So we have seen obviously the coaching staff, Matt LaFleur, and the defensive coordinator has been hired. You've got a lot of guys that are. How much of a pass or non-pass does Matt LaFleur get for? Because people are already saying this season isn't going to be great. Too many coaches, too many new voices, too many philosophies that need to meld together. This will be one of those gimme years because of all the coaching changes they've had on this staff. I don't buy that at all. I think the pressure is on because I think this is with whatever the new contract is. When will we find out, by the way, what the new contract terms are?
Maybe never. Who knows? Like there's not an overthecap.com where that stuff gets put out. So
right.
It's up to, Trace Armstrong, who's Matt LaFleur's agent. If he wants to put it out there, it'll get out. And if he wants to keep it to himself, then it'll never get out.
Okay. Well, we'll find out at some point, I'm sure.
This cycle got 5-year deals. So it's probably safe to assume that Matt got 5 years as well, just because that seems to be the going rate, so to speak. So
piggybacking off of that, my thought is that, unless things go horribly, horribly wrong this year, Matt's got a 2-year window. If you see wash, rinse, repeat this year and next year, I got to figure the Packers are going to say enough. We're done. So he's got a lot of pressure to get it right. So you don't have a gimme year to say, well, you know what, too many coaches, too many changes, too many problems, too many philosophies, too many minds in the kitchen. I don't think that's true at all. I think this year there's a ton of pressure to put this train back on the track, especially if you have health on your side. But I think there's as much pressure on Goody this year as there is on Matt LaFleur. Would you agree?
Yeah, 1,000%. Didn't the Packers fire Mike Sherman after 1 year of a contract extension?
Yep.
I really, it's different circumstances. I get it, but this isn't guaranteed salary where it's going to impact your salary cap. You still got to pay the guy. It's guaranteed money, and nobody wants to give away $40 million or whatever unused contract be left. But they're not wedded to him beyond this year, and you could look at it from the perspective you're talking about. How about when there's too many changes and all that? But sometimes change is good. Like Jeff Hafley's defense in year one with the whole new staff took a huge jump forward. Mm-hmm. So why can't a defense that's going to get Micah Parsons back and it's going to go sign a defensive tackle maybe, and they're going to go draft a corner. So in theory, there'll be better personnel. Why can't Jonathan Gannon with some fresh ideas and unscouted looks, why can't he make the defense a top 5 unit again. I mean, there's no reason to assume I'm going to take a step back or anything. So, yeah, I think it's foolish to think that this is a blow it off year or a gimme year or set it up for next year kind of year. No, I think that's foolish. So you better hope that you get the personnel in place, and you better hope you hire the right guys.
Yeah.
Because this team is built to win, and there's no reason why they can't.
I completely agree. Bill, always great to talk to you, my friend. Appreciate it. I know you got a good article about the possibility of new candidates out there at Sports Illustrated at SI.com. Anything else before we let you go?
I'm going to do the veteran guys here in a little bit. And if anybody's a cooking show fan, there's a show on Fox called Next Level Chef. Former Packers offensive lineman Jared Belder is on that, and I talked to him for about 20 minutes yesterday. So
that's kind of cool.
I'll get that up today or tomorrow. Yeah,
there's another guy that's a big cooker. It's Lane Taylor. I used to follow his stuff too. I haven't seen his stuff in a while, but he's another big
guy. I remember that.
Yeah, big barbecue guy. Hey, also March 19th, put it on your calendar. We're going to be at Hometime Pub and Social up there in Green Bay, our first ever show in Green Bay, and we're going to be at right there in Titletown. If you want to come over, man, got some food for you.
I like food.
We'll set it up.
It's good.
All right, bud.
All right.
See you Monday. All right.
All right, bye.
There you go. Bill Huber joining us for a couple of minutes when we come back. Mike Clemens, you're going to hear that voice coming up next. Don't go anywhere. A whole lot more of the Bill Michaels Show as we continue to go throughout the rest of the day. Hopefully, I know we've had a couple of issues today, but hopefully the issues are pretty much in the rearview mirror now. Stay tuned. We got more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this.
I like food.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Those are the words of Brian Gutekunst, general manager of your Green Bay Packers. Rich Bisaccia, the discussion, and talking about Rich and what he brings to the table. And that was Brian Gutekunst after the season had culminated. But Rich Bisaccia, the announcement made yesterday, stepping down as the Green Bay Packers assistant head coach, and stepping down as the special teams coordinator for the Green Bay Packers as well. Joining us on the hotline, our guy Mike Clemens is here. Michael, how you doing, pal?
The announcement made at 6:30 last night. I mean, like weird timing.
Yeah.
And when it came down, Bill, I thought, oh, damn. Do you remember our last night in San Francisco? You took us out to that place in Westlake, the original Joe's, that great steak place and stuff, right? And we had so many stories to recap about how great the week was for the show and, coverage for Super Bowl 60 and all. I forgot to tell you, this is an off-the-air story. And I told you in our post-game coverage with the loss to the Bears in the playoffs and subsequent broadcast after that, I said, there's another story there. So now I can tell this story on the air. So the Packers have just lost to the Bears in the playoff. Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And you walk into that locker room, and I know one of your favorite Packer stories is 15 years ago, that very same visitors' locker room. It's the Bears who had all the opportunity to advance with a good team, and the Packers came back to beat them and to advance to the Super Bowl 15 years ago. And Charles Woodson and the White House speech, right?
Right.
So when I walked into that visitors' locker room that night, just 2 or 3 weeks ago, or longer, I was like, can you believe just the total opposite? You've not lost to a Bears defense,
Mm-hmm.
You've lost to a gunslinging Bears quarterback. So with that, I'm looking around for the feel of the room, and at least Rashawn Gary talked to us, for a little bit, and a couple of spots like that, because he hadn't talked to us for a month. And then I see Adam Stenovich, your offensive coordinator. He's walking around just, in a daze. Like, okay, what do we got to do next? What do we got to do? Jeff Hafley, remember what I told you about Hafley? He's on the phone in the coach's room. He's taking a phone call he does not want to take on the team bus. What do you suppose that was all about?
Right. Yep.
Rich Bisaccia was in tears. In sports, sometimes we use the word emotional.
Right.
It was streaming. And he was going around and saying to guys, I'm sorry, goodbye. I'm sorry, goodbye. And I thought, oh, because, we didn't know if LaFleur was coming back.
Right.
We got back to Green Bay the next day after that game in Chicago and staying in the hotel downtown. And LaFleur came in the next day and said, Ed told me on the plane, hey, we'll talk. And it was that point you say, okay, I think there's a chance here that LaFleur is coming back. But you didn't know. You didn't know. And as for Bisaccia, I mean, it was like even a year. He's been asked by reporters, are you going to take a head coaching job? Because, you were that close coming out of the Raiders. And, do you still want to do that? And what do you want to take to the next thing here? Because it seemed like he was just never quite had the tools.
Right.
And we even asked about that last May. And Bill Huber's got a great art. Are you going to talk to Bill today?
Bill's coming up right after you.
Oh, great. Well, so there's that. But leading up to the week of the game against the Bears, what ended up being that playoff loss, and thinking about, okay, this could come down to a field goal and win conditions and all that. I said, and you posted before that game, Bill, Brandon McManus completing one from 61 yards.
Yep.
And he ends up blowing 2 makeable field goals and a point after touchdown, 7 points, which could have made the difference. I asked Bisaccia, and I want to play this to show listeners this guy knows his stuff. When I said, what do you do pregame when it comes to, your place kickers?
I'd say checklist is a great comment, but it's more about, you'll see, who gets there early, but Brandon goes out pretty early. The majority of Brandon's kicks are done in pregame for him. We have a certain set we do on a Wednesday and a certain set we do on a Friday. And then for him, he likes to kick a lot in pregame. So he kind of goes out there twice. He goes out there on his own, and he gets a good feel for what he thinks the wind is doing and the conditions of the field and what it looks like on the hashes. The ball's in the same spot for PAT all the time. So what does it look like where you're going to actually put your plant foot and kick it? He'll go both ways. And then Daniel comes out a little bit later to start punting, but he gets a bunch of punts in as well before we actually start the battery of snap, holding, kick, or the battery of snap and punt. And so when they're done with all that, I'll take some notes from Brandon about his thoughts one way or the other, and where we'd like to start if we get the choice, where we'd like to get it in the second half if it goes that way as well. So, yes, to your point, there's a checklist that they go through. And for me, it's just I'm gathering information after watching them and then talking to the both of them.
Are they checking wind at halftime, after halftime? Is that what, or are they just warming up?
No, they're going to. You'll see them. Both teams, punters and kickers, come out early in the second half, and they're getting a feel for what it's like. That way as well. So you get a choice, right? Whether you won it or lost it, now you get a choice on the second half. You're usually going to take the ball if you lost it, but it does have a factor. In these types games, in these places, the wind is a factor.
So, Mike, here's my question, and I why do you think it took so long? Because I tend to think if they were going to fire him, they'd have fired him the first couple of weeks right after Matt LaFleur got his contract and said, okay, this is what we're doing. But that's why I think this was Bisaccia. Probably maybe they were trying to convince him to come back, or this was a decision where he was like, you know what, after he got away for a month or so, he said, okay, it's just I don't have it in me anymore. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, well, the thing is, and I agree with you 100%. And his wording is he said, I'm stepping down and look forward to whatever's next.
Right.
So he's leaving it out there.
Right.
I just think that maybe he thinks he could take this so far. I think in terms of, and this guy is a people guy. He acts like a coach, and he puts keeps people on their toes. Mm-hmm. But also, there's a family with a disabled person in their family that's a huge Packers fan. And anytime a player can stop by, Rich Bisaccia stopped to see that family every night that he could, about 6 o'clock at night, as the sun setting. He's that kind of a guy. And the players love the dude. They love the dude. So there's that. Guys like Keyshawn Nixon and Josh Jacobs, they came from Vegas because they played for that guy in Las Vegas. They came for Rich Bisaccia. He was, kind of a bridge that way. Bisaccia made a couple of mistakes. The Anders Carlson thing after he'd worked with his older brother David did not turn out. And he kind of lobbied for that kicker. But it's an interesting point, though. Here's the other thing. In the last 2 weeks, that office is empty. Jonathan Gannon has come in with a whole bunch of guys, and they still don't have this thing settled. Like I told you, I was concerned about that. Man, Mike McCarthy has been hired and a whole new staff and is up and running in Pittsburgh. And LaFleur still doesn't have his coaching staff out. Mm-hmm. So, Hafley leaves. Marcus Covington is interviewed. He's a defensive line coach. There's 6 or 7 guys. Sean Dugan is now the defensive coordinator. He's his own assistant. Byron Storer leaves. The assistant special teams guy is now the special teams coordinator for the new staff of the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
So all these guys that you've worked with, if there was ever a time to step off, I guess now is the time. So I think that's part of what's going on. Here's the other thing about this franchise, man, when it comes to special teams. Yeah, talk about it. Who's a great return guy that they've had? Tremont was pretty good for a while. Woodson returned some. Keyshawn Nixon a couple of years ago.
Keyshawn Nixon, yeah. I went through the return guys today. The last guy that was really a threat continuously was Allen Rossum. That's how far back it goes.
Well, now, here's the deal. There's this story today because teams are now gearing up, getting into the combine, and they will talk to the agents about free agency, that the Seattle Seahawks, who just won the damn Lombardi Trophy, possibly could release Kenneth Reynolds III, their running back, because he's a guy who had a big night. Okay, so he got MVP, and they don't know if they're going to invest that much money in that position. And so the stat came out. There's only been 3 times that the Super Bowl MVP left right after that in free agency for another team. One of them was Desmond Howard. After he was the MVP, and they went to Super Bowl 31 with Favre and Holmgren, and so he gets paid by the Raiders at the time, and and the rest of his career is blank. So that goes back to Ron Wolf, and these kinds of decisions. And his replacement was Allen Rossum, and then after that, yeah, you're right, it's fog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it hasn't. And again, I said this earlier. I said, is it? Because we've shuffled through so many special teams guys and coordinators over the years, it isn't funny that you and I have both seen. You more than me. And, every time we're like, okay, do they finally have it together? How many times this season, Mike, did you and I talk about, oh, here they go again? I was just saying it on the air that every time the special teams comes out, we're all in the press box like, oh, geez, here we go. And you just wait for it. And then if nothing goes wrong, you go, oh, okay, nothing happened. It was like we were holding our breath every time the special teams took the field.
Yeah, well, the guy who came up with there's a weakness over there at left guard.
Shanahan.
And we could, no. I'm talking about the Bears offensive line 2 years ago.
Okay.
And they send Carl Brooks, and he blocks that field goal, right? And that's how they hang on, as you said on the air, by a fingertip, they won that game. It was the early divisional win of the year. That's Rich Bisaccia, all right? But then, you got Romeo Dobbs, doing his Brandon Bostic, impression, screwing up an onside kick. You got McManus, missing 3 field goals and not being able to get into his head and say, come on, you got to make one, man, which made the difference in that game, 7 points and all. There's those things. And then let's not forget, going into that Bears game, you'd lost Bo Melton. So when you're looking for your special teams guy, that was the latest guy you can depend on because he had his, season-ending knee injury. So there's those ups and downs like that. But it's not for lack of coaching technique and details like that. But in terms of just finding and hanging on to 2 or 3 guys, Zane Anderson has been a good player for you. And after he has a good game, it seems like he's out for another 2 or 3 weeks with some kind of injury. So, and Huber will have a whole lot more good reasons as to why maybe it's time to move on. But I'll leave you with one other thought. Matt LaFleur comes in 2019. You had Ron Zook and some of these other problems that McCarthy had, right? He hired Sean Meninga, didn't turn out. Then, and he had a chance to hire Darren Rizzi, highly regarded under Sean Payton, Super Bowl team with the Saints, and with the Dolphins. And Rizzi turned down Green Bay and went to New Orleans. And Rob Domofsky from ESPN was here to tell you that was not because of money. It was reported, Green Bay couldn't come up with that money. No. Rizzi just wanted to go to New Orleans. That's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So after that, they made the Rich Bisaccia decision, and that's where the story ends right there.
Mike, great stuff as always. And, if we don't talk to you between now and next Monday, I'll see you next Monday.
Talk to you then, pal.
There you go. Mike Clemens joining us a couple of minutes. Always good to talk to Mike and get his opinions. And Mike's, we're already looking at picking him up. He's going to be the hitchhiker on the highway down to Indianapolis. He's down in Racine County, so we'll hit the highway down, 94. And if Mike's standing on the side of the road with his thumb out, we're going to pick him up. So be fun time. Good stuff. Always great when we all get together and get a chance to travel a little bit. Next week, in case you did not know, in reference to that, we are going to be in Indianapolis. We're going to be down there for the NFL Combine, the NFL Combine 2026, right around the corner of February 24th through the 27th. All next week, we will be down there. Monday's show here in studio, and then after that, down to Indianapolis we go. Looking forward to it. Myself, Mike Clemens, Grant, obviously Bill Huber's going to be down there as well. And we'll bring you everything that is the beginning, we'll say, of the NFL season, so to speak. As you go through the combine, you get ready for the draft, you got free agency, you got franchise tags, all that kind of stuff. And then you have the draft and you get into OTAs, mini camps, free agent signings, everything else that goes along with it. But it's going to all start in Indianapolis next week. The Scouting Combine 2026 will get underway. Stay tuned. We got more of the Bill Michaels Show wrapping it up next. Ready?
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Truck drivers, are you tired of your pay not matching your experience? At Schneider, our truck driver pay is designed so your years of service directly translate to higher earnings. Plus, longtime drivers qualify for larger sign-on bonuses and a larger selection of driving jobs. Pick from drive-in, intermodal, tanker, and dedicated opportunities. Ready to be rewarded for your hard work and expertise? Find the right driving job for you at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
What was your thought in the student section chanting Booker's name?
I could give a rat's ass about the other team's student section.
I just meant overall the way that you
I would like to give you a kudos for the worst question I've ever been asked.
Did you like
You should take it.
the preparation of the?
Do you really think I care about the other?
No, I don't.
team's
I don't think you care about the
Are
other.
you raising your voice at me?
No, I'm.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Come on, dude.
No reason.
Come on. Yes, you are. Everybody's standing here listening to you. Everybody, this is on camera. They can hear you. I answered the question. I could give a rat's ass about the other team's student section. I coach UCLA. I don't care about Michigan State students. I mean, who cares?
Mick Cronin getting a little fiery with a reporter. Okay, let me say this. If you ask a question and you're looking for an answer and he says, I can give a rat's ass about the student section, I didn't even get a chance to hear what the follow-up was because Mick Cronin went after him right after that. Can you play that again, Grant? Because
it was a different follow-up. Like there are other reporters trying to ask questions. Mick Cronin keeps going back to this schlep. You want it one more time?
Yeah, go ahead and do it again.
What was your thought in the student section chanting Booker's name?
I could give a rat's ass about the other team's student section.
I just meant overall the way that you.
I would like to give you a.
So that was the follow-up. That was the same.
Kudos for the worst question I've ever been asked.
Did you like
You should take it.
the preparation of the?
Do you really think I care about the other?
No, I don't. I don't think you care about the
Are
other.
you raising your voice at me?
No, I'm.
Yeah, you are.
See,
yeah, you are.
Right there,
Come on, dude.
you can go ahead and stop it. Right there, he was answering. Mick Cronin asked him a question. And he went, no, I don't. And then he said, are you raising your voice at me? That's disrespectful.
I think you care about the other.
Are you raising your voice at me?
No, I'm.
Yeah.
He didn't raise it at all.
Are you raising your voice at me?
He didn't raise it at all.
Oh,
look, I know Mick. I love Mick. Mick's a tremendous coach and a really good guy. I knew him back in the days when he was at Cincinnati. That moment, he's wrong. He's wrong. And I'll tell you this, I've had coaches yell at me as if they're trying to intimidate you. You don't intimidate me, pal, at all. Yelling at me doesn't happen.
Your voice at me?
No, I'm.
No, he was like, no, not raising your voice at all. But that's what he wants to make of it. The thing about it is that people don't understand. Coaches are coaches. You get to have conversations with them, and you can ask a question. They may not like it, and they may come after you for it, but you're asking a question. Some questions are dumber than others. I completely get it because coaches and managers and stuff have to put up with some really dumbass stuff. But in that particular exchange, he's wrong. He's wrong. It's like, why are you going off at the media?
Bill, are you raising your voice to us?
Yeah, I'll do it every damn day of the week. If you're going to yell at me, I'll yell back at you. I have no problem with it. I got into an argument one time with early on Phil Garner, and he started getting like that at me, and I don't know why, but I became more monotone. And I go, Phil, why are you getting upset? Why? And the more I calmed down, the madder he got. And he was in the midst of a really terrible season at the time. But it was just the matter. He got mad, man. I'm not answering questions. I'm done. And it was a question I asked, and then 2 or 3 other people followed up. But he he kept coming back to the question. The question just burned him for some reason. I don't know what it was, but got really mad. It was Phil Garner got mad at me.
You raising your voice to us, Bill?
Yeah.
The question.
Every now and then if you're going to yell over me, let me get my question out. You know, they demand respect. I get it. They have a hard job and you don't want to answer questions all the time. I understand and I take that into consideration. That's why I try to be respectful with my questions. But if you get upset about something, they just answer it and say, hey, we're not going to go there or whatever. And I respect that. I really do. But I've seen instances where coaches want to get fighting. They want to try to intimidate you as if to say, never ask me these tough ones again. And no, nay, that ain't happening. You start screaming and yelling, then it's going to get worse. You know, because you demand respect, you better give it. And if you don't give it, you're not going to get it. It's that simple. So what do we got tomorrow? Today's Wednesday, right? I've lost track of the days.
Yeah. Today's Wednesday. Correct. Jesse Temple will talk Badgers tomorrow. Maybe he'll have a thought on Mick Cronin.
I know. Well, here's the thing.
Jesse, you raising your voice?
We got to talk to Jesse about what happened last night.
Yeah.
Disappointing loss down at Ohio State. And Ohio State, look, they needed that win, and they're not a bad team. It's not like, the Badgers should have went in and rolled them. Ohio State needed that win. They needed that signature win, so they have a good shot at getting themselves into the tournament because they're right there on the bubble.
They needed that one more, for sure. I mean, Ohio State was favored by 1.5 points for what it's worth, but road wins in the Big Ten are not easy, so it's not the worst loss ever. It's just a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah, it's just you come off of 2 great wins like that, and then you're back down. Got to get back on a horse. Got to get another win. Next up. All right, until we talk again tomorrow, 20 hours from now, it is time for us to have a great day. It's beautiful. It's sunny. It's warm.